Our today's topic is SQL Server databases. In this topic, we will see how we can create, alter, or drop databases in SQL Server. My name is Varun Garg and I welcome you on our YouTube channel Decode ITES. Decode ITES provides you single learning platform for multiple IT technologies. In this lesson, we will discuss about what is databases, types of database files, types of databases in SQL Server, and demo to create, alter, and drop databases. SQL Server database is a group of SQL Server database objects like tables, views, store procedures, DB users, and multiple other database objects. SQL Server database can be divided into two layers, physical and logical. In logical layer, tables, views, and store procedures combine and create logical layer of SQL Server database, whereas how database resides at disk level comes into the picture. Database resides on files at the OS file system. Database files are divided into data and log file. Data file consists of data, indexes, or views, whereas log file consists transaction level detail for recovery perspective. This is the pictorial representation of database layers and what exactly database consists of. We can see database has two layers, logical and physical, and in logical layer we have objects like tables, views, store procedures, functions, and multiple other things comes into extra. In physical layer, we can see database has two type of files, data files and log files. Data files can be of two types, primary and secondary, whereas log file is only of one type, although you can have multiple log and secondary data file in database. Let's have some brief details about database files. As mentioned in previous slide, database files are of two types, data file and log file, and further data files can be divided into two types, primary data file and secondary data file. The primary data file contains the startup information of database and points to other files in database. User data and objects can be stored in primary data file or secondary data files. Every database has one primary data file by default. The recommendation file name the recommended file name extension is MDF for primary data file, but you can choose according to your wish or requirements. Secondary data file are optional, are user defined, and store user data. Secondary data file can be used to separate data across multiple disks by putting each file on different disk drive. Additionally, if a database exceeds the maximum size of single Windows file, you can use the secondary data file so that data cache can continue to grow. The recommended extension is .ndf, but again you can choose according to your wish. Third is transaction log file. Transaction log file hold the information that is used to recover the database. There must be at least one log file for each database. The recommended file name extension for transaction log file is .ldf, but similar to others, you can change the extension according to your wish. We had also discussed SQL Server database architecture in detail in our SQL Server architecture lesson. You can also refer this for further reference. Types of databases. Microsoft SQL Server had two types of databases, system database and user database. System databases comes up with SQL Server setup with defined purpose and objects. Each system database has its usage and gives very limited option for modification. System databases in SQL Server are master, model, MSDB, TempDB, ResourceDB, and distribution database. User database are one which is created by user as per their requirements. When you create a database, it's a blank container and you need to create your DB objects based on your application or needs. Sample databases like AdventureWorks and Worldwide Importers are also a kind of user database. SQL Server single instance can support maximum 3 to 767 databases, including system databases. Database actions. We will be discussing these four database actions in our coming demo. How to create database, how to alter database, how to rename or drop existing database. This is the generic syntax that you can convert to the command as per your requirement. Let's start with demo of SQL Server database and we will see how we can create, alter or drop database in SQL Server. In this demo, we will see how we can create, alter, rename and drop our databases using T-SQL and SSMS. So this is the command that we will use to create a database. Create database name, you need to mention your database name here. We have mentioned dummy_T-SQL for our database. This is the file group under which our data file of database will be created. This is our data file name, this is data file location, basic size and file growth pattern. Similarly for log1, this is the log file name, log file location and size and file growth pattern. When you run this command, it will create database dummy_T-SQL. To create a database using SSMS, you need to right click on database, select new database. Here you need to mention your database name. Let's enter dummy_SSMS. You can see logical file name here. So this is your data file and this is your log file. Default file group is primary for your data file, under which this file will be created. This will be the file location. You can add the additional files if you want. You can change the initial size. Let's set it to 10 MB. You can change the file growth pattern from here. You can see currently your database is in fixed size growth with unlimited maximum file size. You can change it as per your requirement. As per the best practices, you should keep your database in fixed size growth instead of percentage growth. So we will not change this option. Click OK. There are some other options like recovery model, compatibility model, and list of other options that you can change according to your application or environment design. Once you click OK, it will create a database under the databases in SSMS. You can see you have two databases _SSMS created by SSMS window and _T-SQL created using T-SQL scripts. So let's move to next step. In next step, we will alter the database. So we will do two types of alteration in our database. First, we will change the recovery model, and second, we will add the file in our existing database. For this, let's first verify the current condition or the current setting of your database. Go to the dummy_T-SQL, right click, properties, and we will check the recovery model. So current recovery model is set to full, and currently there are two files in database. So let's run this command. It will change the recovery model from full to simple, and this command will add the additional file in database. So both commands are executed successfully. We will revisit the properties of dummy_T-SQL database. First, we will check the recovery model. Recovery model is simple now, and this is the files. Now you can see we have one more file added that we had just added using alter command. Similarly, using SSMS, you can go to the properties of database and you can make the changes required. Like in options, you can change the compatibility model, you can change the recovery model, you can add the files according to your requirement. So for adding a file in SSMS, you just need to click here add. Once you click here add, and you need to mention the file name like dummy_SSMS_2. It will be a data file. Initial size will be 15 MB. Once you click OK, another file will be added to the database. So this is the way you can alter your database using T-SQL or SSMS. Next is how to rename your database. From T-SQL, you can rename your database by two ways. First is SP_rename stop procedure. So you need to mention your old database name here, new database name here, and object type, which is database. Once you run this command, it will change the database name from dummy_T-SQL to dummy_T-SQL1. You can see changes are reflecting here. Also, you can do this using the alter command. Alter database name here, modify name equals to new name of your database. So once you run this command, it will further change your database name from dummy_T-SQL1 to dummy_T-SQL2. Similarly, to rename the database from SSMS, you just need to click on that database, right click, and you will find the option of rename. Once you click on rename, database name is alterable. So you can make the changes in the name of the database. Once you click enter, it will be saved. So your new database name is dummy underscore SSMS underscore 2. So this is the way you can rename your database using SSMS or T-SQL. Next is drop database. Drop database is pretty simple command. Drop database name. We have changed the database name using the rename command. So we will update the database name here and we will run the drop command. Drop command is completed successfully. Before dropping a database, you need to ensure that there is no connection is available to the database. Otherwise, drop command will fail. Similarly, you can drop the database using T-SQL. For this, you need to right click on database. You will find the option of delete. Once you click on delete, it will say delete backup and retention information from database. So if you click this option or keep this option checked, then delete command will drop the database and also clean the backup and the store history from MSDB database. This is completely depend on your wish or your requirements whether you want to clean the history or not. For me, I will say please don't do it because it can be used in future references in your environment. So we will uncheck this option. Second is close existing connections. As mentioned, your database should not have any active connection, otherwise this command will fail. Once you click this option, SQL Server will forcefully close all the connections and drop the database. If you didn't check this option and SQL Server is having active connections, then this command will fail. Let's see how it works. I will uncheck this option and create one exception over dummy underscore SSMS underscore 2 database. So now we have active session over this database and we have not checked close existing connection option. We will click here OK to delete the database. It's in progress, it's trying to close the connection and trying to acquire the lock over the database, but it will not able to do it because database session is still open and in use. You can say that we are not doing anything in the session. How SQL Server is considering it is in use because we have opened the connection and it's completely dependent on the user when he want to fire the command. You can see this command is failed. When you click on message here, you will clearly say that this database is currently in use. Click OK. Now check this option, close existing connection and click OK again. Now it's trying to acquire the log. In this process, it will automatically discard the existing connections over the database. So SQL Server Management Studio was still showing that dummy underscore SSM underscore 2 is having the active connection and this window is still available for the queries. But when we try to run the query, it clearly said that database is not available and you can't perform the function because in background, SQL Server closed this connection and brought the database. This is how you can drop your database using SSMS or T-SQL command. I suggest to have a small demo on your local system because this is going to be helpful when we further create database objects and perform further operations and tasks for our upcoming lessons in SQL Server Learning series. We have completed our today's lesson over SQL Server databases. For any questions, please leave comments on video or contact us.
Thanks for watching. Do like, share and comment our videos. Also subscribe to our channel.